Hi guys, Totallydubbed here, and today I'm doing a video review on the Sennheiser HD 450 BT. Now these Bluetooth ANC headphones can be found for around £130 in the UK, whilst in the US they can be found for around $200. If you'd be interested in purchasing them, the locally link in the description below will take you to your localized Amazon store. Also in the description you'll find alternative suggestions which I'll be referencing, namely the Philips and JBL headphones and also the Razer Opus headphones. Now before jumping into this video, if you do have Instagram, I'd very much appreciate a follow. It's at TotallyDubbed. It'll be on your screen or indeed in the description. So without further ado, let's get into this review. So first off, I want to quickly touch upon what you get in the box and furthermore talk about how the actual headphones operate. So of course you've got the headphones themselves, you've got a set of manuals, as you can see. I've pretty much not touched them, but they might come in useful actually in terms of functionalities. You've got a USB Type-C to USB Type-A cable, so yes, they take USB Type-C. You can see I haven't opened this because I've got my own Type-C cables. Now the cable over here, the auxiliary cable, is a 2.5mm to 3.5mm right angle jack. Worth bearing that in mind because it's not a regular 3.5mm jack that goes into the headphones. So yes, they can be used without the Bluetooth being enabled. And then there's also this rather cheap looking case, to be honest with you. I don't know how else to say it. It does expand, as you can see, and it does get pretty bulky, but in all honesty it doesn't scream good quality. It feels very cheap and tacky looking, but anyway, that is included and it's going to be useful for portability, I guess. Now in terms of the headphones themselves, you can see how they look like. As far as I'm aware, they come in only all black. I could be wrong, but as far as I'm aware, that's the case. They do have that swivel function, but they don't fully go in flat, and you can pop them inwards as well. So it's worth bearing that in mind. It's a shame they can't be folded flat, as they might have been a little bit more portable for some people. Now the mechanism is very well done. It does have a nice feeling to it, and I must say Sennheiser have done a good job. Now in terms of the headband itself, it does adjust to a really good degree, but in terms of the overall headband itself, I will say that it's got quite a strong clamp force. Now the clamp force itself is going to be a problem for most people, I would say, and with glasses on I just didn't feel that comfortable. And furthermore, in terms of the actual ear pad itself, it's got a pretty small diameter over here. Now I know I've got pretty large ears and therefore I'm not somewhat the normal male or let's say female person in this respect here, that the ear cups just feel a little bit more on ear than over the ear. Of course, your mileage may vary depending on your ear size, but I feel that this sort of diameter and shape is just not that well suited for most ear sizes. But again, I could be wrong. The pads themselves are nice and soft. They've got kind of like a memory foam function. But again, due to the clamp force, I just didn't feel that comfortable, specifically when I was wearing glasses. There's very, very little padding at the top. It's somewhat to be expected from portable headphones. I just would have liked a little bit more. On the plus side, the material over here used is kind of silicone rubbery material, which makes it very easy to clean. So that's a plus point there. Now in terms of the headphones controls, you can see they're pretty much all on one side, and that is the right side. The right and left indicators can be found within the headphones over here. My camera might be struggling to pick it up, but it's found within here. Now the right hand cup has got a whole host of different functions. The top one over here activates your assistant or your voice assistant. In my case will be Google Assistant. This button over here has got a previous and next function. If you go like that, and when you press it down it plays and pauses. Then you've got a volume rocker key over here, where there's a little rib over here, which means that it's plus and minus button is there. Then next to it you've got the USB Type-C connectivity, which allows you to charge and also plug it in as well. And then you've got the 2.5mm jack insert, which is relatively deep in there, but it's there as well. Then you've got the on and off button, and also once it's on, if you press it once or press it again, it will activate ANC on or off. There's no ambient mode as far as I'm aware, so you've got only an on and off ambient mode functionality. Overall, the buttons do get a little bit weird in terms of getting used to. I would have liked some controls on the left hand side to kind of vary it up, specifically the ANC button, which feels a little bit awkward to press. However, it's nice to see all these controls here and the functionalities there that Sennheiser has provided. Now next up, I just want to allude to the app. So right now I'm connected over Bluetooth, and FYI, in terms of Bluetooth, they've got 3 different codecs, which I'll jump into a little bit, but it's connected over aptX codec right now. Now, what I do find about the app is that it's very primitive. There's very little controls. In fact, the only control you've got is the equalizer. I do like the fact that Sennheiser have gotten rid of this pretty poor equalizer function over here. Although it might look nice, it's pretty impractical. Instead of, you've got a nice 3-band equalizer over here. Now, truthfully, the equalizer didn't really work out for me. I had to leave it pretty much on neutral. If you want, and you've got less sensitive ears, you might want to increase 1 notch on the highs and potentially 1 notch on the bass, but it's up to you. I used it on the default setting over here because even when cranking up the mids, which it's got pretty recessed mids, and you'll find out why in just a bit, but even cranking that up all the way, it just really didn't affect the mids in a positive manner. So this is my setup that I would use. On the right hand side over here, you've got also a movie mode that you can enable if you want, and you can also add a new preset as well if you so wish. Other than that, there's really nothing here. I would have really liked the ANC toggle. It seems really obvious, but the ANC toggle of being on and off through here, or even through another sub-menu like the other Sennheiser headphones or earphones, would have been appreciated. Unfortunately, that's not the case. If you click the settings cog over here, all you can see is the firmware, which at the time of doing this video is 5.00, and that's it. That's all you've got. And honestly, I think Sennheiser should have done a better job, given that the headphones do actually have app integration. I think they could have done a lot more over here. And now we move on to performance. So first off, I'd like to talk about Bluetooth. So in terms of Bluetooth technology, I'm actually pretty impressed because these have aptX, AAC and SBC codec support. As such, on my Samsung Galaxy S10 Plus, I didn't notice any sort of latency issues, and furthermore, the aptX codec was very much appreciated as it provides a better quality transmission over, let's say, SBC or even AAC. As for the Bluetooth range, I had no issues whatsoever, about 10 to 15 meters through walls, and it includes using the controls as well. Now, moving on from there, I'd like to also talk about the battery life. Now, the headphones have 30 hours of quoted battery life, and through my tests, I found it to be pretty much the case with ANC enabled. So I was very much impressed in this respect, and most headphones at this price range do offer a far less battery life, so I would say that Sennheiser have done a good job over here. Moving on, we've got call quality. Now, through my tests, I found that the Sennheiser HD 450 BT, quite a mouthful to say, were actually pretty decent in terms of call quality. They don't quite deal as well with the environment sound, and specifically when I test them to sort of flagship Bluetooth ANC headphones such as the Bose NC700, they don't sound as refined. But that said, these headphones that I'm comparing them to are pretty much double, if not 2.5 times its price range. What I will say is that these headphones do deliver a decent mid-range in terms of the calls, and therefore your recipient will be able to hear you. Again, not the best, but decent given its price range. Moving on from there, we've got ANC quality. Now here I was actually pleasantly surprised about how the headphones dealt with cancelling out noise. Now granted, they don't quite compete with flagship Bluetooth ANC headphones or earphones, but in comparison to other headphones in its price range, so for example the JBLs or the Philips headphones, here they pretty much compared on par, if not a little bit better, so they're a bit above average. What I mainly was interested in over here was how they could deal with the mid to high frequencies, because the low end frequencies a lot of budget headphones can do, and as such these ones did a decent job. The mid to high frequencies were actually a little bit surprisingly good, because in comparison to the Philips and JBL headphones, which don't do as well in those domains, these Sennheiser headphones did a decent job at cancelling that out. Again, it is to be expected that these are £130 sub, £150 headphones. If you're comparing them to flagship £200 to £250 plus headphones, they're not going to compete. So just set your expectations as to where they should be when it comes to noise cancellation, and if you do, then I think you'll be pleasantly surprised, and in this domain I think Sennheiser is among the best mid-tier Bluetooth ANC headphones. And now we move on to the all-important part, the sound quality. Now, unlike the ANC and even the recording quality, which did decent, the sound quality left me a bit disappointed. So let me break it down for you. First off, in terms of sub bass, the sub bass doesn't really extend, and the headphones struggle to reproduce a good rumble. No matter what EQ setting you use, by the way, I actually ended up using the neutral setting because I found that even the mid-range, when you were pushing it up, it just sounded a little bit odd. So just an FYI. As for the mid bass, it was a bit wobbly, a little bit uncontrolled, left me a little bit like, what is going on over here? Not the Sennheiser mid-bass quality I've come to expect over all these years, and what Sennheiser is somewhat renowned for producing really precise sounding headphones, no matter the real price range. Here I was just really left kind of jaw-dropped in a bad way, that the mid-bass was so uncontrolled and just didn't sound really as it would do. And in comparison to other headphones out there from the JBL, the Philips or the Razer headphones, which are at its price range, these headphones just sounded a lot better in this domain. Again, not to be confused with more premium headphones, but in this respect I was just left disappointed. As for the mids, they sounded really veiled and recessed. Again, not quite a Sennheiser trait that most people would be accustomed to. I mean, you think about £30 Sennheiser headphones and you think of mid-range, the first thing that comes to your mind is probably the mid-range. In this respect, it just didn't sound like that. It sounded quite U-shaped almost, and V-shaped even. It just felt pushed back, subdued, and didn't come out as what I expected it to do, and again left me wanting more. On the plus side, the highs were good, they extend really well, they've got a good sort of extension at the top end. You can boost it up a little bit from the EQ, but I think a lot of people will find that the default level is perfectly good and won't provide that much sibilance and harshness, whilst also providing a good extension and excitement to the music. So the highs were actually its most positive point. As for the soundstage, again, something that Sennheiser is kind of renowned for, specifically with their open back headphones. Given that such airy and open soundstage, I was expecting really good things from the HD 450BT, and unfortunately that was not the case. The soundstage lacked dynamism, it just lacked that airiness, and okay, they're closed back headphones, what more should I expect? But then the width and depth and instrument separation just sounded a little bit muddled and a little bit claustrophobic and just sounded like a botched job. I just wasn't impressed, and in comparison to the Philips headphones, which cost pretty much the same price now, and to the JBL headphones even, which you wouldn't really expect that great soundstage from, they performed better than these Sennheiser headphones. And truthfully, that was really disappointing for me, because this is where I thought Sennheiser would excel, be it from the mid-range or the soundstage, two things which really for me in my head scream Sennheiser, just didn't come out of these headphones. So this leads me on to my verdict, and you can kind of probably see where I'm going with this, but I just wasn't impressed with the Sennheiser HD 450BT. I think Sennheiser have just seen a market where other of their competitors are aiming at, so the mid-tier kind of market, and use their brand as Sennheiser to kind of push it out there. Yes, they have decent ANC quality, which is something I wasn't expecting to say in this review. And they've got decent call quality, which is somewhat expected given Sennheiser pedigree in microphones. But the sound quality of the headphones, and actually even the comfort, which I mentioned before in terms of clamp force, isn't what a Sennheiser headphone is in my mind. Now maybe I'm putting too much emphasis in this as to what a Sennheiser headphone should be. Forget about the brand. Scrap the brand. Let's say it's just an unknown headphone. It's literally called Unknown. This unknown headphone just didn't sound that good in comparison to its competitors. The JBL would be a better bet if you are up for running. The Philips would be better in terms of comfort and in terms of slightly better sound quality. I mean, slightly better is an understatement. And if you want better noise cancellation and better sound quality, then you'd spend a little bit more and get the Razer Opus instead. Again, all of these headphones are within budget and within its mid-tier category. I'm not talking about flagship headphones over here, such as the Sony XM3s or the Bose NC700s or the Neurophone headphones. These are flagship headphones, and ones I would say, those are the best noise cancelling headphones on the market. All I'm trying to say is that if you're looking for mid-tier headphones, I think you should look at Philips and JBL instead, or stretch the budget and go for the Razer. That's pretty much it. That's my honest verdict, my independent, unbiased, unpaid verdict. If you like this video, make sure you give it a like, subscribe to see more, and favourite and share if you feel that this video will be helpful to either your family and friends or someone that you are who's thinking about buying these headphones. Alright guys, I've been Totally Dubbed. Take care, and bye-bye.